Welcome in this video. Here we're going to see another exciting game from the World Chess Championship match 2023 Nepomniachtchi Carlsen. And here, after the move bishop to g5, black managed to win a brilliant game. So let's see this game from the beginning. Ding has the white pieces for the first time in the match, and he started the game with the move d4. Nepo replied with knight f6, and after this move, usually Nepomniachtchi used to play this move g6, and after knight c3, the very natural move, try to control the center. Black strike is in the center with d5. This is the Grunfeld defense, a tactical opening, try to create unbalanced position. However, after his match with Carlsen on 2021, Nepo changed a little bit his strategy and he played more solid systems, and he tried this move e6. Yet we don't know any specific system, but we can transpose to many. For example, we can go to the Bogo Indian, to Queen's Indian defense, to the Benoni opening, or to the Queen's Gambit decline. Now after the move e6, it's White's turn to choose a system, and here White has three main moves. This could lead to Nimzo Indian defense, this could lead to Queen's Gambit decline, or to the Queen's Indian defense, and we have of course the Catalan opening after g3. Ding usually plays the Catalan opening, and I'm excited because I play this opening as well, and I'd like to learn more if he plays this move g3. However, he played knight f3, and now we have d5, very solid setup, the Queen's Gambit here, and now Ding shocked the world with this move h3. It looks very strange actually to play this move right now, right here. Usually White has the first move, they have the initiative, and suddenly they say, okay, it's your turn, I postpone my turn, right? It's something like this. It's a semi-waiting move, waiting for black to do something, and probably the best here is to go on the Queen's Gambit accepted, capturing that pawn, and after that play c5, a6, the usual Queen's Gambit accepted stuff that happened later during the game, and Ding trying to claim that Nepo didn't play this particular opening, the Queen's Gambit decline actually, and they would like maybe to confuse him. But in any case, this move is not really good because it is a waste of tempo, and in many variations that we're going to see, this cannot prove useful actually, cannot prove useful move. Ding himself told that he had many ideas, but he didn't play correctly after this move h3. It reminds me a game that I played many years ago when I started playing chess. After 2-3 months actually I played chess, and usually one of my opponents tried to pin my knight, something like this, capture them or immobilize them, and for that reason I had the white pieces. I played this move, he played this one, and now I'd like to develop my knight. However, if he do that, he is going to attack my knight, and for that reason I played the move a3. So I stopped him. What to do? He just developed his pieces. I played this one, and now he played this one, and again, alert, he is threatening to pin my knight, and I played another move, this one, h3. However, these moves are not really good actually. I won this game very easily, after this very easily, because he didn't know what to do, and I crushed him. However, it's a very typical mistake to play with these moves, a3 and h3, it called ears. I create a course about that on after the second year. You're going to learn something about this opening mistake, and usually it is a waste of time. Beginners are doing this one in order to prevent these pins actually, but we have a lot of ways to unpin ourselves. For example, one very famous trap, let's say, is after this move we can play something like this, he can play something like that to develop the bishop, we can play here, and after this already white is winning. Believe it or not, because white have this amazing move here, and if you dare to capture the queen, then this will come, and after this we will have a checkmate. So we have a lot of ways to fight against these pins actually, and I don't really like a ding strategy here because this cannot prove useful. It is a flying window after the castling, but right now it's not a really useful move, and black is not threatening to pin the knight. So the game continues like this, ding playing that one, we have c5, very normal stuff, and after capturing he played a6 because he would like to push forward the pawn and create more freedom for his bishop to develop this in the long diagonal. This is the main idea. So we have castling, development, and a good moment, and another good moment here is to capture on c5. Indeed, we are capturing here a pawn. He can develop his bishop at once. However, we're going to exchange queens and things are not so bad for white. I don't really believe that he has a real advantage, but it could be a playable position without the tactics, and maybe this could fit, this one could fit more to Ding's style and not to Nepo, because Nepo is more tactical player. And here he played this move knight c3, and after this move attacking the bishop he went back. He has obviously many moves to go here, there, here. He has a lot of different ideas, but right now after bishop to b7, another very typical standard move in this opening, we have this move a4. He would like to, he's trying to punish black for his expansion on queen side, and he's provoking this move b4, because after this move these pawns could be weak, right? Because we have a juicy square here, maybe we can transfer our knight like this, and these pawns looks losing. However, even a bad strategical move, if it comes with a tempo, attacking an enemy piece, it could be a useful move actually, because we're attacking that knight, we're winning time. He went here, and now, believe it or not, Ding playing a very similar position with another great player, Aronian. Ding had the white pieces and Aronian black pieces. What was the difference in this game? It was this pawn. He didn't play h3 obviously, because h3 is not useful here, but he played the more useful move, rook here on e1. A very nice move, because now the rook is protecting the center and he is ready to do something in the center of the board. So Ding is familiar with his position, with this position in general, but he played an unusual move like h3. I don't really like it. Here white has a lot of, black has a lot of ideas, and what are you going to play? It's your turn. How are you going to handle this position? And many players here, the most natural looking move is to take on e4. It looks extremely natural to take something, and after this take something else, and after that, oh, I create the isolated queen's pawn, right? However, already black played very huge mistakes here, because white pieces liberated, and for example he can develop, white can play something like this, and after castling queen e2, and we can see these powerful bishops here, the rooks are coming in the center of the board, and already black has some problems. And why we have this problem? Sometimes when you play chess you don't understand this, why this is happening, and this is happening because you just capture something, because to take something is the mistake. You are liberating the enemy pieces. Again, you can see white doesn't have the opportunity to liberate this bishop, but you can do it by yourself. By capturing here you are liberating this diagonal. So to take is a mistake, and instead of that, this will not solve the problem, because you can recognize the problem. You should not take something, but how are you going to play? What is the correct reaction? The correct reaction is to press your opponent to create some threats, or to press him in order to force him capture your pieces. For example, one idea like this is queen d5, because we are threatening this knight, so we are forcing him to take a decision here. He has to take, for example, this one variation. Another variation that happened during the game was knight to a5. Very interesting move. The knight is in the edge of the board, however we are threatening this one, we are pushing him to do something, forcing him to take a decision here. And another strategical idea behind that one is to play this move c4, and create this strategical winning position, because it's something like the Slav system, and in Slav positions we can push the pawn forward, and these pawns, these connected pawns, can create a lot of damage to white. This is the idea behind the move knight a5. Really nice idea, I really like it, and Nepo here shows some class, because he's sacrificing a pawn, this pawn actually, in order to go away from Dink's preparation and get a very active game. So here Dink, actually it's very similar to the game Dink Aronian, and in that particular game he just captured on c5. You can imagine, I add this one, I wrote an article on my website, and in this article you can see the games, and inside there you can see this game that I'm referring, Dink Aronian. And in this position we have the pawn here and the rook there, and in this game Dink captured here on c5, and in this position again the best move is to take on c5, because after this we can take. He can play many moves, something like this, and again the move c6 is the correct move. It's identical, ideal position, the same position like this one, with rook here and pawn there. He played the same way, so these variations are familiar to Dink. However, he has some problems, I guess. He is not very focused to the game. He cannot really control his emotions or things like this. He's not very focused, and he's not playing the chess that he knows. Actually, he don't calculate correctly here. He's playing very general chess, I think. And after these moves, yeah, something like this, we have to play c6, or another thing here. Black has to do something, because white is threatening. What white is threatening? To play this move e5, for example, to play something like this and liberate the bishop. And now we can try to stop this one by queen d5, for example, try to put more pressure on that square. And here we can play this one, try to liberate the bishop again, something like this. And if you just block this one, we can create some tactics. The rook opposite to the queen can create some tactics. For example, we're threatening to take this pawn with a discover threat. So he can take that one, and now white should be a little careful, because if he just play knight d2, black can take this one, and after this he can play knight to b3, attacking the rook, controlling that square, and maybe he can take this bishop. So white has an amazing computeristic move here. It's really amazing that he has this amazing move, queen g4, fantastic geometry, don't defend the rook, attacking that pawn, attacking this one, and protecting everything on g2. It's a very nice computer move. And after this he can take here, and after this black is not threatening to take on g2 because the queen is protecting, and he can take this one step by step. He can play something like this to put the bishop here, and he has fantastic activity. This bishop mainly is a monster here, really monster. And black cannot really use his rooks effectively right now. It's extremely dangerous to capture that pawn, because he will have attack there, but white has a very nice game here. It is a computer line, this one, but instead of knight d2 we can calculate this one. We can play knight to d4, more natural move, because we are protecting that square, and the next move we can kick away this knight from e4. So let's go back. These are some variations, and another interesting line is bishop e4. Try to block this pawn once and forever, try to keep this bishop behind the pawns, and after these exchanges, for example, he can take there. And now we have c6, interesting move, or we have bishop d2, another one, because after this we cannot take like this because we have the fork, so he has to take probably with a knight, and after this black is okay here, he has counterplay. White pieces are immobilized, and black has counterplay. Or if he just c6 is another try, but we can play this one, and he can exchange the active pieces. The king is very close to this pawn, so he has very nice counterplay. For that reason, knight c5 is not really winning here or anything, but it could claim the advantage. It's a good time for white to do something in order to say that I'm fighting for something more than equality. However, here I don't like Dink, because he just play general good strategical moves without calculation, And in chess we need the strategy in order to know what we should do, and we need the tactics in order to evaluate the position correctly. And after this move, it looks logical, and he completely missed his opponent's reaction. Pawn takes here. He completely missed this one. Strategically, it's not good to take with the pawn. For this reason, maybe he didn't see it. And after this one, he was planning to do something like this, because the enemy king is in the center of the board. He would like to push the pawns forward, for example, to attack the queen. However, here he lost the control of the game, and black already is not better, but he equalized the game, let's say. And black here has a lot of moves. The most logical is this one, try to stop bishop g5. Another one is queen d8, try to put more pressure here, because you just push the pawn, so d4 is weak. And another more computeristic move, difficult to evaluate it correctly, is the move c4. Nepo could see this one, obviously. It's not impossible to see this move, but it required more good calculation, because here we have this one, you need to go here, maybe he has some discover threats like this one. However, we're threatening the bishop, it's more tactical, this one, but all of them are playable. And Ding didn't calculate correctly here. This was a miss. He missed to capture here on c5, he took here, and after this one he played the move e4. And again, this is a move without good evaluation. In order to play good chess, we need to evaluate correctly the position. Who is better? What we should do here? And actually black is better, because black pieces are extremely active, and black is threatening to win strategically. After the move c4, this bishop will be under attack, and these pawns there, two pawns, connected two pawns, will be extremely powerful. For that reason, he has to play something like this to eliminate one of the pawn. Black is okay here, obviously. Black maybe is a little better in this game already, but white could fight for the equality. However, he played this ambitious move, e4, and after this one, the bishop is under attack. We don't have any attack against our king. The king here on e8 is safe, because black don't have any open files, and there is no real way to open the files. After this, we can play, for example, e5, or after that we can play f5, so we cannot really open up the center, and this bishop is under attack. So he went here, and now we have queen to c7, a logical move. Queen there is another logical move. Okay, both of these moves has their own ideas. It's looking more to the king side, for example, and after queen on b6 we are looking more to the center. And now Ding again didn't play the best move. Maybe he should think about the defense actually, and he should play bishop to e3, try to overprotect everything, maybe queen here quickly and develop the pieces like this. But he played another artificial move, very strange move, bishop on d2. Here he played bishop on d2, and now we have rook to g8. Black's plan is extremely easy here. What are black's next moves? What do you think? Black here needs to activate the bishop. Probably the bishop will go there to control that diagonal and create some attacking chances. This bishop is a monster actually, because it's looking towards the king side. Already white commit himself with the king side with the castling, so the king is a permanent target there, and Nepo is a very, very aggressive player, so he's going to castle long side, try to put more pressure in the center of the board, and the rook will go here to create some pressure on this g2 pawn. This is the idea, and the only obstacle to black's attack is this pawn on e4, right? Because this pawn are not allow black pieces to connect, the rook and the bishop. So what will be the next move after this? What will be the next action? And the next action is to remove this pawn. White is not going to remove him by himself, so we need to try to exchange it like this. f5, a very, very nice move. It should not he should not do it right now, but a little later. So he played this one, and again more prophylactic moves are needed. For example, something like this to bring the rook in the center of the board, try to protect himself. We don't have a bright future for this rook actually. We closed him, but what to do? And at least we are threatening a little bit that pawn, let's say. So he played this one, tried to do something in the c file. He's dreaming to do something there, and after long castling he played the move bishop here. Try to attack, let's say, this pawn or try to do something against that pawn. However, he cannot really capture this one. Black already protect this very nicely, and after this very cool prophylactic move, try to go away, try to defend this pawn if it needs. White cannot increase the pressure against that pawn. For example, after b3 we can play the move c3, try to close everything, and white cannot really continue attacking, continue doing anything here. So I can see a lot of planless move, and the deep calculation, the depth is very slow, very little in his calculation. He's calculating 1-2 moves ahead. Actually, he don't have a clear cut what he should do. And in the press conference again, told that I wasn't sure how to place my pieces. It's very sad to hear these things actually. And now he played this one. He has to play some prophylactic moves as well, something like this, to avoid this spin on the pawn g2, and he is protecting little better the pawn here, because the pawn on g2 is not pinned to the rook. This is an interesting idea, or maybe again queen e1, but he played this one. Now we have that, and after rook to e1 again he's trying maybe to put the bishop here to protect the kings and things like this, and now it came. Almost all of the black pieces are ready, except this knight. Actually, it's protecting this one, but okay. The pieces are ready and we need to strike, we need to do something. And he played an amazing move, f5. Nepo himself told to the press conference that after the move f5, he felt very confident that he's going to win the game. He felt that he has very nice advantage here, and indeed the advantage is very big. However, he played bishop on c2, tried to protect everything, to protect this very important square here on e4, tried to keep the lines close. But I'd like to ask, how are you going to play after this move? Because white is going to capture this one, right? How are you going to play with the black pieces? And from now on the game, it will be one man show, because we have very active pieces and all of the tactics will work in our favor. What are you going to do? And you can see the pressure here. We have the bishop and the rook on this pawn, so the knight feels extremely uncomfortable. If we just remove this knight outside of the board, immediately we can take on g2. How can we remove it, or what this knight is defending? The pawn, so we can take there. We're threatening the bishop, and he cannot really take because we have this check. After this move it is a checkmate, and after that move we have a checkmate in 3 moves. My friend Lucas teasing me that I already, all of the times I post diagrams with checkmate in 3 in my Instagram account, but it's very important to know how to finish off the game. And this is a checkmate in 3 moves. Can you find it? It's black's turn. And black can continue sacrificing pieces, eliminate all of the defenders, and after this we have the deadly check there. If he goes up with the king, we can deliver checkmate in 1 move. And this is bishop here. Black's bishops are fantastic, and all of the white pieces cannot really help there. So we have this beautiful checkmate. And if he goes on f1, we have this checkmate with the queen. So black can win in this variation. He calculated, both players calculate these variations of course, and he didn't took here, so he played this one. And if you see again white's plan, if you can see here, he just played bishop d3, he sit in the board, he played very quickly, he left the board again, and he played this because he didn't manage to control the pressure, his emotions. I don't really like Dink's reactions in this tournament. He's not playing like a champion or like a great player. He cannot control his emotions actually. He just played this move here, and after you see, and after 2 moves he went back. It is a planless it says you should not play like this. And now we have a5. He played this knight back, putting more pressure here. The knight can go on d7, controlling more squares, and again we cannot really suggest good moves here for white, because the damage already made with these amazing pawns ready to go forward. For example, if he needs, he's pressing this pawn, and of course we have these powerful pieces, the bishop on b7 and rook g8. He played that one, attacking the rook, and again you can understand, if we played a fantastic game, the tactics will help us to finish the game brilliantly. We have many moves here. For example, we can play the very quiet bishop e7. Nothing wrong is with this one, but if you have a very nice position, you should search for more. And here Nepo played for more, and he just captured this bishop. Amazing exchange sacrifice, give the rook for the enemy light piece. However, after this he will manage to capture a central pawn. He's not threatening anything particular here, but the rook is very active opposite to the queen. Maybe he would like to kick away the knight, and after this to take that pawn somehow there, so he could threaten something like this. And then here cannot play like that, because we can play bishop d7, controlling everything, and again we cannot suggest a good move for white. It's unbelievable, but we cannot really, because the rook doesn't have any open file, and our queen is in danger all of the times here. So he just played queen here, tried to attack the pawn on f7, this one, this little guy here, so we have this one. Obviously Nepo give another pawn on h7, don't care about that. He should be careful how he can take it. After this he's going to lose the knight, because the queen is protected, so he has to take with the knight, and he lost a lot of precious time. For example, bishop here, he is preparing the bazooka to strike his opponent. For example, we have the bishop here, the queen is coming, not there exactly, wrong diagonal. Here we have the other bishop, maybe the rook can join the attack. We have a lot of lovely pieces attacking the enemy king side. He can take a pawn, because now instead of the attack, black is threatening this one to trap the knight, so he has to take this pawn, and now we have this move. You can see eyeballing this one. Maybe he can give some checks actually to liberate the bishop, or going somewhere like this. He can play a prophylactic move, and now we have this one. Suddenly he's threatening checkmate there, so he has to do something. And now we have queen here attacking the knight. The knight has to go somewhere, and the knight cannot go here, there, in the center of the board. He has only this poor square, and as you can see, he lost too many ways with his, too many precious time with his knight, and he cannot really create any problems. And after this, knight h7, we are winning here with black. Can you find it? We have a tactical solution and another good move. We have two ways. More than two ways to win. The tactical solution is knight take, and after this we can take this one, and this is a double attack to the square for checkmate and to the rook, and white cannot really protect everything. He's winning. Even if you don't see this one, we have another move like that one, and you can see the next move is rook sacrifice here, to exchange the rook for the pawns, to uncover the enemy king, to make him naked, and after this we can win. Take there, and after this check and checkmate, for example. Black is completely winning. And after this move f6, he went back, tried not to capture the pawn, tried to do something. So we have this exchange, bishop takes here, and now he has two pawns for the rook, and almost everything is lost. After this he played bishop there, don't exchanging rooks, because you have very active pieces. He put the king here, a prophylactic move, but the damage already made. And after this, again, we can say that these powerful pawns can win the game. It's attacking the rook, and after this we have this one. You can see the bishops are protecting this pawn. We can push it forward, we can liberate this diagonal, the c1 square, for example, if it needed. And after this he played this one, threatening to create a new queen, because we are controlling the square like this with X-ray. He played that one to control that on c1, and the final move of the game is this e5. The rook is trapped, because the rook cannot go anywhere, cannot go here or there. The bishop can take it, cannot go here obviously, and if it goes on d2, now the queen is not blocking that square, and we can create a new queen. So Nepo won this brilliant game actually, and he is leading to the match. Thanks for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Here it's time for action. This is the initial page of my website, and here you can click Give me access to get access to free lessons. You can read this page, and if you scroll down, here you can add your name and your email. After that, you're going to take a free lesson how to avoid chess blunders. So, time for action is now, and you're very welcome to join my mail list.